Hey everybody, it's Kalen, and welcome to the final ever episode of the Investing in Your Sanctuary series. This journey has been super fun. It's been messy, it's been slightly emotional, but honestly, it's just been transformative. Taking each week and learning about a different part of my life, understanding the reasons why I make the decisions that I decide to make them, but also being able to share that knowledge with you and allow you guys to transform parts of your life if you want to too. But now feels like the right moment to end this chapter because an exciting new season of Kalen's Lens is launching very, very soon. Season 2 of Kalen's Lens is officially launching in January. And I thought now would be the perfect time. End of semester, getting into the Christmas spirit. I'm ready for 2026 because it can be your year if you choose it. And I know for me, I want to make it the best year of my life. And so I'm going to go into the year in a brand new season. The series Investing in Your Sanctuary started with Who Am I? The first ever episode was a collection of stories and parts of my background, my life before I even came to uni, and also my first year experiences too. And now it ends with me asking you, who do you want to be? If you've took every single lesson from each episode and you've intertwined it into your life, you would be unstoppable. You would have the grit and you would be determined. Because if there's one thing I want you to take from the whole series, it's this. You have that power, you have that knowledge, and you have that strength to change your path tomorrow, next week, next month, whenever. You can do it so long as you want to. You hold that power and it's on you. Screw what every other person thinks. Fuck them. Screw that voice inside of your head. Fuck it. You deserve to build a life that is aligned with your gut, your vision, and your future. So if I could tell you at any point, is go back, listen to an episode, and if you really feel like it resonates with you, implement it. Get to know it. Understand the reason why I make the decisions that I make, because they may be the decisions that you want to make too. So just think, based on everything so far, what is one thing that you would change tomorrow if you stopped caring about what every other person thinks? And that brings us back to where this started with the question of identity. In uni, I tried to genuinely fit in. I thought in order to do that, I had to drink. Drinking was the way to belong because social media and everything glamorizes it. But now I am 9 months sober. I've not touched an alcoholic drink. I don't know if I'll ever drink again. But honestly, you don't need to think like that. Why would I want to party when my lifestyle, my dreams, and my goals give me more energy than a night out ever could? Why would I want to be doing something where I am drained from being in that environment, where dancing at a club just isn't the vibe that I look for, where me doing the things that I want to do isn't going to be able to align with that if I'm out until 3 a.m. every single weekend, if I'm doing these things and it's just not giving me anything back. And I just want to prioritize my health. My health is everything to me. The things that I take within my body, the things that I want to drink are choices. It's a choice. And I would much rather prioritize my health every single time. And that's just one decision that I make. And this is a flashback to episode 2. Episode 2, where we discuss Freshers Week and what it was like this year, especially not fitting in, not doing the conforms, and having a life and a routine that I built during that week that has allowed me to flourish throughout first semester. So just take a moment and think, are you living as the real you or the version that you think people want you to be? Or the person that just wants to fit in, think that that is the role that they need to be doing, thinks that that is the moralizing thing, when in reality, your self esteem is just gone because you are not respecting yourself. You're not giving yourself the things that you want to do because you're doing it for everybody else. You're people pleasing everybody else. And once I stopped doing that, I created a lifestyle that has actually empowered me. that has given me strength, that has allowed me to create so many more memories than that obnoxious lifestyle. I rediscovered my love for food, my love to bake, my love and created a love for traveling and allowed me to prioritize my mental health. Everyone speaks about mental health. Everyone talks about it and that, yes, uni's hard. But until you've lived it, until you've experienced those daily struggles of getting out of bed, of having those thoughts of not wanting to be here anymore, you truly cannot rediscover your life. And I genuinely believe you have to go to the darkest place to create a life that you want. But in that process, there's so many things that you have to realize. Is it's long. It's a long process and it takes time. There are small wins that become the foundation of who you want to be, the foundation to allow you to show up for yourself. And just so, like, if you took any part of those lessons from episode 3, you would learn that empowerment isn't one big moment. It's the habit choices that you make. It's stacking up tiny choices, tiny wins. What tiny choice could you make every day that would move you closer to the life you want, that would allow you to reconnect with that inner child and rediscover everything that you've ever loved and more? But of course, wanting that and being able to do that is one thing, but being able to afford to live is a completely another whilst trying to figure that out. And a game changer for me was Nisha Shah's 65-20-15 budgeting split. If you aren't doing it, what are you doing with your life? I highly encourage it. Everyone knows I love to talk about money. I love speaking about it. And I think it's such a taboo in today's societies that people are offended about having the conversation. But I would much rather be having a conversation about money than about who my fucking friends were sleeping with. Who do they neck on a Saturday night? Oh my God, did you hear that so and so hooked up with so and so? I would much rather talk about money and how we can achieve the dreams that we want to do, such as retiring my parents, such as having the things that I want. And at the end of the day, my lifestyle, I need to afford my lifestyle that I want. And so I encourage you, get a credit card, but you have to use it wisely. Pay it off every single month on time. Use that money that you would have had and invest it and grow that money. Put it into a savings account where it can grow with compound interest. Build your credit score because that is the single step that allows you to build wealth properly and sets you up for future freedom. This is how you get your house. This is how you stop living paycheck to paycheck. And this is how you become financially independent. So if there's a reason why you're just going out, if there's a reason why you're drinking all the time, is there a reason why you're just doing the life that you don't want to do? And that in itself is just affecting your finances. Like that is destroying your finances, especially at uni when it's so tight and the cost of living just grips. Food prices rose to like 4.9% in 1 month when the cost of living is getting tighter and tighter. Just think, is there one financial habit that you could start now that means you won't be in debt when you leave uni? The only actual debt you really have is your student loan, which isn't a loan, isn't a debt, it's a tax. And these steps is something that your future self will thank you for. But I speak a lot about money and I speak about all the financial tips that I've learned along the way that has allowed me to create a credit score, which is in the excellent bracket, that's allowed me to get nearer and nearer to my savings goal for a house. But money is just one thing. But it's the routines that go alongside it is where the real transformation happens. But you have to remember, not everyone's routine is going to be the same. Not one routine works for one person is going to work for everybody else. It's about creating routines that fit you and your life because we all have busy lives in one way or another. But it's about creating that routine that suits you and fulfills you. Having that morning routine that you do every single morning stacks habits, builds a routine. Having that evening routine that allows you to wind down, allows you to block out the blue light rays for the last 30 minutes, that is an evening routine, not a Pinterest perfect TikTok aesthetic. Oh my God, I'm going to do my skincare so perfectly. I'm going to do all this blah, blah, blah bullshit. It's about going to bed at the same time, waking up at a consistent time. It's all about these little habits. Going to the gym in the morning, going to the gym in the evening if you prefer, getting daily movement, but staying disciplined. Because the more you stay disciplined, the more a routine becomes normal. My routine's just normal to me now. I would be shocked if I didn't do what I did now. That is how much more of the habits that I have stacked along the way has formed that routine. So if I didn't do this routine, I wouldn't be able to move as happily as I want to move, feel good in my body for once, have the ability to have food that I want to have and not feel guilty after having it. What's a routine that you could honestly stick to for a week? And you know that making that routine would make your life 10% easier. And if you can do it for a week, you can do it for a month. You do it for a month, you can do it for two. You could do it for six, you could do it for a year. It's as simple as that. It takes 66 days to build a habit. And so, why not start now? Habit stack, and your life will change forever. But then I speak about everything that I've learned along the way just now. But there was the hardest part before any of that, before any of that learning, before any of those routines, and before any of those habits. And that was my loneliness paradox. And if you haven't checked out that episode already, I highly recommend you do, because that, honest to God, has to have been my favorite episode ever to have recorded. I spent weeks in isolation, hardly any conversations with anyone, no noise and no distractions, because you learn who you are when no one is clapping for you. You grow in so many ways if you spend it alone. It teaches you discipline, it teaches you emotional maturity, but it also teaches you how to communicate with that mind within you, with those voices that you hear, and how to turn that volume of those voices down. It rebuilds your sense of self, your sense of who you want to be, where you want to see yourself. If I didn't do that, to be honest, I would be lost. I would not have an idea of who I am and where I'd want to be. I just wouldn't. I would be super confused. And I don't think any of the habits that I have formed would have stuck, because once I clouded out that voice, once I drained that voice and drained every single outside voice, I was the center point. I was the masterpiece, and I was allowed to deliver for myself. I became the reason. I am the reason, and I will always be the reason why I got to the place that I want to be. I will always be that reason, because you have to go to the darkest place to experience that paradox. It's as simple as that. And I'm not saying actively discover that place, but if you're in a happy point in your life, you don't want to discover it. You might have already been through that in a previous point. But going through the loneliness paradox fundamentally changed everything, every part of my life. And if you think you're in that right now, good. Because what is it trying to teach you right now? What lessons are you trying to learn from it? What lessons is it trying to give to you? What can you take from it? How can you approach it? Where can you see yourself being? What habits do you want to start doing? I would have never gone to the gym if I didn't go through it. That's a fact. I just looked at the gym and I was like, why are you working out? If I didn't go through it, I wouldn't be in the condition I am in today, where I feel great. I am great. I've grown muscle. I feel happier in the morning going to the gym. But creating that life from the inside, it was great. Having that emotional mindset to realize when I'm enough, to create boundaries with friendships, to be a better person, to be a better son, to be a better brother, to be a better friend, to create the life that I want to live. It wasn't just about the work on the inside, although that does play like a 95% part. It's time that I had to spend on the outside. It's the time where I had to clean up my digital space, which we speak about last week on the boundaries with social media. I had to reduce my screen time. It was insane the amount of time that I was spending on my devices. If I didn't reduce it, I would have lost so much time to other tasks. I wouldn't have performed as well in exams because I was trapped on my phone. I had to create boundaries with platforms that drained me more than they gave. I had to unfollow people. And some people I regret unfollowing, to be honest. Like, if I didn't unfollow them, my life would have still been the same. And I do regret it at times. I had to unfollow accounts that just weren't motivating. I had to unfollow people that just wasn't giving the type of alignment that I saw. I had to understand how the algorithm manipulates our brain by forming content that we actually want to watch because we stick on a video for a really long time. By understanding that the algorithm manipulates in our For You pages, in our YouTube, here's a next like watch video because you've watched it before and you stuck on it. It's about removing that type of content that doesn't align with me. It's about rewatching my reposts on TikTok because that is content that fulfills me and aligns with who I am. And choosing intentional consumption. I choose when I go on my phone. I also say to myself, I need to come off my phone. I spent a little bit too longer. I've reduced my screen time by 50%. It's gone from 6 hours to 3 hours, which can't lie is probably 100%. It's completely reduced. I hardly ever find myself just sitting around for hours upon hours watching a video, watching some TikToks. I don't do it. I can't do it because I have other priorities now. I have other things that actually fulfill me instead of watching something. I create TikToks and I love creating TikToks and content. That isn't to say it without a doubt, but I don't feel the need to just scroll upon scroll upon scroll for hours upon hours. I don't feel it. I don't need it. So if there's one thing that you could do, what is one content that you could unfollow today that would allow you to grow tomorrow? What is one person that you're following that you don't need to follow anymore? Because either their content isn't engaging, you don't feel good watching it, or you just know it just they're no longer in alignment. All in that, all of those 7 clear steps is internal work. It's work you have to do. It's work that you have to train your mind to. It's work that you have to feel aligned with. And if you don't, then don't do it because it's as simple as that. If you don't want it, don't do it. But as amongst all of that, you can still spend all that time in on you, but life is still happening on the outside. There are opportunities still going on, and it's about balance. It's about doing the things that align with you and trading that time to do those things, but also trading the time on yourself to go and experience new experiences. I went to Paris, I went to Budapest, I went to Rome, I went to Berlin, I went to my first concert. And all those experiences were trade offs for other moments, trade offs that I could have focused on other things. And that is okay. I accept that they're decisions that I wanted to make. They are trade offs that I align with. They're decisions that I feel comfortable with. Being able to just go when I want to and explore London and not feeling disheartened. Going to Richmond Park with one of my closest friends for the first time. Going to Ali Pali fireworks on Halloween with one of my other close friends. Going to concerts with my best friend. Staying connected with my family. Seeing my friends. Seeing my family and my dad on his birthday. These moments keep me grounded. But I recognize that all of these moments are trade offs. But I also know that I can do so much on me. But being able to enjoy life is essential to that self investment. Because if you're not doing things that you don't enjoy, you're not going to be able to enjoy life. And it makes all of the internal work significantly harder. It's a fact and it's known. If you're not enjoying the things that you're doing, that work and those hours and that time that you spend on yourself vanish. So if you could think, if there's been a moment in this past week that actually reminded you to enjoy your life. And if there was something, say it to yourself like, what did you do that you actually enjoyed? And start doing more of those things. That is the chapter you have to go through in life. And it's not easy, it's difficult because it's a third. A third of that chapter is going to be incredible. You're going to have so much fun. A third of your life is going to be hard. It's going to be rough and you're going to probably hate it. And a third is going to be a bit meh. It's going to be okay. It's going to be a bit bad. There's going to be that uneasiness. And that is totally normal because your life is split into thirds. Every part of who you are is you. And just remember this: the strongest people know who they are. The strongest people are not people pleasers. The strongest people know how to win. They know what steps they need to do. They know the things that they need to do to get to them to the next position. They know where they want to see themselves. They know how they want to live their life. And they never give in. So until you create that life, you're going to be in a constant toxic loop of living for everybody else, of doing things for everybody else and not you. But the moment that you change that, and the moment that you start doing things for you and saying no to everybody else, you become whole, you become complete, and you become a monster because you are stronger than you've ever been mentally, physically, and emotionally. And that journey, that brings us now to this moment, the end of a chapter and the beginning of a new one. 2026 isn't just going to be another year. It can be your year if you stop waiting, you stop hiding, and you stop living for everybody else. You have the power. You always have, and you always will. So fuck them. Fuck every other outside voice. Fuck the universe. Fuck life. And fuck them. Because you are the reason. You're the reason you're going to be successful. You're the reason you're going to get to where you want to be. But the question is are you going to use that power? Are you going to use that strength? What version of you do you want to walk into 2026 as? And what decision can you make today that aligns with that person? Where do you see yourself this time next year? And with that, this chapter finishes. And I hope that every single part of that allowed you to just feel uplifted, allowed you to just reconnect with who you want to be, and allowed you to just see the simple habits and the simple things that do take a bit of time. Don't get me wrong, it's not an instant fix that creates the version of who you want to be. And so, from me to you, thank you. Thank you for joining me for the final episode of the Investing in Your Sanctuary series. This journey has been powerful, not only for me, but I hope for you too. And I'm excited for what is about to happen. Season 2 is officially launching in January. And trust me, we're just getting started. If you found that this episode was valuable, please share it with your friends. If you found that there was a particular episode in the series, share it with your friends. But remember, the best investment you could ever make is in you. And I'll see you all in season 2.